What's your thoughts on this, Rhino? I know George Lucas interview reveals his plans for the Star Wars sequel trilogy.
It's because I don't think it's true. I think, don't get me wrong, I think George Lucas did say these things, but I think it was so long ago that they're not giving us what his real treatments actually were. That's what I believe anyway. Like, you know, obviously, George wanted to bring Maul back. He did in the Clone Wars. That was him. That wasn't anyone else but George. So I reckon at one point in time, yes, he was thinking that maybe he would bring Maul in and bring in Darth Talon and have some story based around them. But then you hear some of the other things that it was going to revolve around the midi-chlorians, but then you also hear the other things about how it's going to revolve around, you know, the son, the father, the son, and the grandchildren of the Skywalker line. It doesn't necessarily mean that they can't bring Maul and Talon in as the villains, but I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I really feel like Disney is really trying to what's the word? Like backpedal, but fucking save face sort of thing.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
All right.
Bullshit.
Lyndon,
Bullshit.
I want to hear your take, then I'll tell you mine.
It wasn't Leia supposed to be the chosen one?
Oh, that was weird.
That chosen one crap is fucking bullshit too. Sorry, Lyndon.
That is weird. No, that is weird. I think Rhino's right. Like, I do believe he said this at some stage, like years and years and years ago. And he has said before that he did intend to bring Darth Talon in. It was going to completely change her story because obviously Darth Talon's from Legacy, which is way down the line. But I'll be real. I read this. I saw the interview, parts of it, and I don't like it. If it was true, like if it was true that he was actually going to do that, I wouldn't have liked it. I think those movies would have sucked, man.
So do I.
That story would have sucked.
So do I. All they needed to do is, and even I watched a couple of Ryan's videos, or at least Ryan's video on this, and he says how George was saying how like it was basically, yes, it was going to revolve around Leia, I think, becoming trained and all of that sort of thing, but it was just going to carry on with the grandchildren, and I don't really see how these characters fit. That's all.
Well, see, here's the thing with Lucas. Like, we all love him to death and all that, but that motherfucker changes his mind and retcons himself daily, man. Like, he'll say something one day, the next day he'll say something else, and you're like, that just doesn't at all, man. Like, but I don't get it. I don't fucking get this whole argument, this whole sequel trilogy
Again,
he was going to do.
I think that Disney are trying to release stuff like this to try and get people like exactly what you said, Lethal, saying that wouldn't have been that good. You know what I mean? Like, just, I know this, it doesn't change anything in regards to the hatred that people have for the Disney trilogy and stuff, but I really feel that they're trying to undermine their own stuff by saying, but they're trying to undermine what George Lucas gave them, right? To try and save face for what they did. You know what I mean? So, like, if they're being truthful with us, they would have released the true treatments that George wanted to bring out, not this thing that he mentioned maybe fucking 10 years ago before he even actually killed off Maul, maybe. Or 20 years ago. What, you know, it's just, who knows when he said this? Have we got a time date on when these quotes were made? I can sit there and I can put fucking quotes around a sentence and say that George Lucas said that and put it into a fucking thing. What are the chances of George Lucas actually seeing it and coming out and going, no, I never said that?
Very low.
I'm not saying that George never said these things, but I still think that it's a far discrepancy from what he actually planned on doing.
Look, as far as I can actually figure out what he was going to do, I'm pretty certain there would have been Darth Talon, but she would not have been the way we know Darth Talon. She would have been greatly different. Lucas seems to have a thing for Twi'leks because, I mean, he's basically Apollo. Apollo, are you Lucas?
Yeah.
Because
But,
they brought in Ayla Secura because, you know, she was an EU character and he looked at it and was like, yeah, that's cool. So he put her in that. And now he's going to do it with Darth Talon. But bringing in Darth Maul, I didn't like the idea of him being alive in that trashy Clone Wars show. I never liked the idea of Maul surviving. Never got on board with that. He got fucking cut in half and fell down a shaft. That motherfucker's dead. All right. But no, they wanted to bring him back. Okay. They brought him back and then have him be 100+ years old going into the sequel trilogy or however fucking old he is. Well, it wouldn't have been 100, but Darth Talon, you know, that's when her timeline was, but they would have brought her into it then. Don't like the idea of Darth Maul being like bad.
Dude, it doesn't matter. You can bring these characters in whenever you want because these characters don't age. Bo-Katan's proof of that. We now know that they don't care about characters aging.
Yeah, good point.
She's roughly the same age as Obi-Wan. She should be fucking wrinkly and frail as fuck right now.
Yeah, that she's looking like a very bangable 60-year-old gilf. Darth Sion survived through sheer anger. Yeah, but he was like a very exceptional case. Let's not deny that. Anakin survived being dismembered and burnt to a crisp. Darkseid and Palpatine helped him with that. Through his rage. You're telling me that Maul couldn't theoretically survive that too? Yes. Yes, I fucking am. Because both those examples are completely different to Darth Maul. Completely. Darth Maul fell down a shaft and was living in a garbage ship. Fuck that, man. He got cut up, man. He was dead. He was fucking dead, dude. Palpatine saved Anakin, or Vader at the time. And then he had the surgery. Darth Sion, very, very exceptional case, never to be repeated. But Maul being cut in half, nah, fam.
You remember what George said about that, though? He's like, well, after all the fan reaction to Darth Maul, I really regret not giving him a bigger role.
Exactly, that's all it is. It's like, well, okay, bring him back. People like him. He sells. You know, best way to resurrect a character is when their merchandise sells. But then there's the whole, what was it? Leia was the chosen one or some shit. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Well, why not? Because that was the whole thing in when Yoda says there's another.
Yeah, but the chosen one was Anakin.
I don't know, but
I don't get how Leia ever was. What world was she the chosen one? Like, I can understand the idea of Leia becoming high up in politics and all that type of shit because, well, it makes fucking sense for Leia to do that. Like they do it in the Thrawn trilogy and all that shit. Even that was a very prominent thing in the EU. It was like Leia wants to be trained as a Jedi, but she's busy as fuck with her political shit. New Republic and all that type of stuff. And it was just so fucking. I couldn't get it, man. Maul got cut in half and lost his dick. Do you think Maul would just lay down and die after losing his D? Well, what's the point of living?
There's no chosen one anymore. The chosen one's gone.
We are all the chosen one.
He brought balance back to the Force. He destroyed the Sith. End of story.